We are live. This is the market update. Why is Bitcoin down and altcoins up? Have we ever seen that before? If you want the answer to that question, you are in the right place. What should I buy? This market looks really interesting. Hey, I heard Bitcoin went to 123. Is now the time to get in? When should I buy Bitcoin? Patreon members know the answer to this, right? What day should I load up on altcoins? Like, is it now? Is it a week from now? Well, okay. Our platinum members know, but I'm still going to help you anyway. What coin should I buy? Well, I got a couple here we can check out. I think if you look in the chat, our Spartans, the members, will help you figure it out. First question is the market too frothy, right? This YouTube member area just got off with Toby answering just that question. What's next? She called 120 for Bitcoin, right? She called stellar. And I just got off the podcast. And as usual, my mind was blown. Like one of her real world asset picks, checks, is up like 40% for the month after all that stuff was down. And Clearpool came out. So if you want live picks and AMA, it's YouTube. If you want sort of in-depth research, reports, GAN-based timing, and picks, it's Patreon. We'll go through all that. I know you're going to love it. Are people too bullish? Quick answer, no. So you don't have to stick around for that. Fear Greed is at 73. Fear Greed was at 93 when Bitcoin was at 93 in November. Retail has not participated here. It has not. And undoubtedly, you're feeling those like FOMO juices popping up like, oh my God, I've missed something. You haven't missed anything. We're just getting warmed up. Let's again, YouTube member podcast. We were doing, I can't say the exact name, but we were doing banter bubbles. We've been doing it for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, right? Get it while it's hot. Altcoins during July, you're going to get 1 or 2 opportunities and you're going to want to get involved. And what's really funny is that the new Bitcoin volatility, right, will ignite altcoin volatility. Volatility is like the common cold, right? One kid sneezes, the other kid gets it in like a kindergarten class. The market was dead. It was winter. Bitcoin was doing nothing. Volume dried up. And then as we've discussed on multiple shows, some kind of gigantic short squeeze, right, unfolded. Like Michael Saylor paid 112. Market makers couldn't buy it back. Investors in legacy trying to get too cute in the options markets got caught. And they had to buy more and more as the market rose. It's called a gamma squeeze. It's one of the more serious short squeezes where they have to keep buying more as it goes up. And now, frankly, I think you got one of those going on in altcoins. Little hedge funds out there got short Ethereum, huh? The short Ethereum futures. How's that working out today? It's not. The guys who are bearish MicroStrategy, how's that working out? It's not. And then you're going to tell me that, let's go through all the lists of problems. Let's see. Tariffs are going to cause inflation. Inflation's at 2.7% or 3%, if you believe the numbers. And interest rates are at 4%. So we still got interest rates way above inflation, which is refreshing because, the guy had rates at 0 or 2% when inflation was 10%. So we actually have room for materially lower rates. Now, what's going to happen in Bitcoin? Let's answer that question. Bitcoin's going to form a range. That's at least what the GAN model says. And believe it or not, the people in Patreon, the free group, I gave them the day trading plan attached to the notification on the stream, right? In other words, this could be a little bit more of a slant than you might want. Then it might ramp with altcoins, and then Bitcoin might stop at 120, and altcoins might keep going if you want the executive summary. That means, let's go through the list, right? Your Solanas, your XRP, your Algorands, right? Notice something important. Congress, of course, because they're going to require more sugar or more whatever, right? They have to get more, somebody's got to get, someone's got to get paid in order to pass the Genius Act and this act and the stablecoin bill. Yeah, those acts did not pass today during crypto week. Now, you can tune into the YouTube member area to find out if we think those things are going to pass. But notice on bad news, the altcoin markets are up anyway. Eagle King is reporting, ETH is going through 3,100 right now. And the Orange Man is talking about replacing Powell again, which is Banana Republic type stuff, even though I'm absolutely not a fan of Powell or his political views, because trust me, he does have one. Now, what does this mean? This means cryptocurrency up only. Now, listen, I love all you guys. We're going to say hello to you in a minute. But some guy said I made this like thumbnail that I eventually changed for different reasons, where I was like up only, right? We're just like up only is just started. What's a warm up? I said to Toby, it's like, can you believe Solana is not, is that 160? She's like, yeah, what is this thing you say? The bigger the what, the higher in the bigger the base, the higher in the space. Do you have any idea how many altcoins are making the bigger the base, the higher into space formation? DPIN, virtuals. Pengu made it, and Pengu's up only. Everyone's like, oh, that's just Pengu. No, it's not. Absolutely no, it's not. Right? I'm not Bruce or Cliff is not too early, not too late. He is right on time. He is right on time. Okay, speaking of being right on time, a lot of people think Bitcoin can't move. Now, Toby has her view on Bitcoin. That's been right as rain. But you really have to start asking yourself, what's the next surprise? Surprises breed themselves. What's the next surprise? Like Wall Street just got caught in Bitcoin. What's the next thing they're going to get caught on? ETH and XRP come to mind for me. I can't believe XRP backed off $3. It's like, ooh, XRP's at $3. Garlinghouse like testifying in front of the Senate. He has like a Bank of America partnership. People are just so used to being bearish that literally being bullish, like being crazy bullish, it doesn't compute. Being crazy bullish doesn't compute with people. That's why Bitcoin moved the way it did. Everyone's like, oh, watch this thing go. Oh, look at that. Flock of them flew over that time. We're going to go over technical analysis of, some of the bigger coins. We've mentioned a lot of different coins, particularly the American-made cryptos. A lot of that is in, the Patreon VIP and platinum areas. I also loaded up the Patreon store. We'll go over that, where you can take advantage of a crypto week special. All right, let's take a look at this. So everybody prior to today had Bitcoin going to 150, 160, 200, etc. And nobody thought about ETH. Nobody thought about ETH at all. Like, why ETH is going to 10K. Now, I don't think ETH is going to 10K this cycle, but you can still have massive price appreciation here. Massive. And people think Ripple, with a highly rare setup, can do a 60% gain. I have no idea why XRP is not well on its way to $4. Let me say that again. XRP should be well on its way to $4. And then there's the other, there's the unrelated, clueless thing about DeFi. Rotations still matter, says Kyle Chase. I went all in on ETH and top DeFi like Aave last month. And if you look at the real world asset plays, right, which I can pull up right now, A lot of this stuff is still down. You know, it's not like, oh my God, you know, I mean, yeah, okay, Stellar went up a lot, but there's a lot of coins that haven't done anything. Ondo hasn't done anything except rally enough for LuxAlgo to put support underneath it. Like Bitcoin went down and they tried to sell the market like they usually did, and they forgot about something. They forgot that when you put a bunch of Bitcoin, when you inject Bitcoin profits into the market, those profits, those trading profits, particularly off a fast move, yeah, they wind up in altcoins. And, you know, I will borrow this one thing from Toby because it'll make you want to FOMO into the podcast and listen to the rest of it. She's like, I'm like, well, what's going to happen at Crypto Week? She's like, the fact we're having Crypto Week is bullish enough. I'm like, oh my God. Because I'm just thinking about all these charts and I'm like, you know, this is DeFi Perp. This is Aave, which has been up only. This is up only, even when the market was down. And LuxAlgo is beginning to insert support floors underneath all these coins. I mean, it's unbelievable. Like, you know, can you seriously fade what's going on here? No. And on the subject of stable coins, you know, a lot of people, they're giving the administration a hard time, probably because of this law enforcement issue. I think it's okay to say that you don't want to get involved in distractions. You don't. This is not the time to get distracted. It isn't. Because, you know, Standard Chartered and all these big banks are saying, hey, big players are coming. So if Standard Chartered says that we think that there's $750 billion coming into stablecoins, okay, that means they have clients that are interested, like big clients. Now you're like, well, okay, Bill, so what? So what's so big about big clients? So BlackRock has this huge Bitcoin ETF. Now remember, BlackRock, that's not BlackRock's Bitcoin that they hold. They hold the Bitcoin on behalf of other investors. These big banks are telling you that they're coming into this ecosystem and they're coming in now, literally now. Because if there was any hesitation, watching Bitcoin go from like, you know, dead at 107 straight to 124 just woke everybody up. Just woke everybody up. I want to go to breaking news from the Eagle King right now about Congress and Thomas Massey. Literally just going to read it on the screen. Okay, they blocked consideration of my amendments to the Clarity Act, which would have prevented a central bank digital currency as well. So they're voting on this Genius Act, which lays the groundwork for a CBDC. So amazing. They're trying to sneak a CBDC, okay, into the Crypto Act. Gee, imagine that. Imagine Uncle Sugar saying, oh, we're not going to do a CBDC. Oh, look, right here it says CBDC. Listen, the Tornado Cash thing. I don't know how long they're going to let me talk about it. We'll see if the YouTube views hold up. Just for anybody who doesn't know, Tornado Cash was like the original, what they call mixer, right? ETH goes in, and then it goes out somewhere, and your trace on the blockchain is not there. In other words, you have privacy, and you're not on Arkham, and you're not on whatever is out there that shows your position. Your position is normally kept private in legacy. Your account number doesn't get given out. People aren't like, ooh, look how many shares of NVIDIA Stan Druckenmiller has. Not unless it's a report that's given to the SEC. Normally, you don't know that on a minute-to-minute basis. You don't. So Tornado Cash, they write a bunch of code. They round up all the guys, and a lot of them got thrown in jail without due process in Europe. One guy is in jail in the Netherlands. Okay. Now, one of the tornado cash is, of course, on trial in the Communist Republic of New York, where I understand ex-SEC goon Jay Clayton is the prosecutor. This guy was urgently on the tape trying to beg, for $500,000 in legal fees to fight the Communist Republic. Now, obviously, since everybody's kind of off the deep end in Washington, if this poor guy does wind up getting convicted after he bankrupts himself, I really, really, really hope that somebody sends him 5 Bitcoin to cover the legal fees and he gets pardoned. Because, by the way, our friends over at AIntivirus, we're super interested in this. This is McAfee's dream, right? It's called transactional freedom. They actually just launched a cross-chain mixer. So you can go from ETH to Solana privately. You can go Solana to Solana privately. In other words, you can keep your position to yourself without everyone looking at it. Transactional freedom on trial in New York City. Thomas Massey trying to stop the CBDC. I mean, they don't need a CBDC. Okay. In Digital Dominion, it's called FedCoin, which is your roadmap for 2050. Hackers versus hedge funds. We believe the correct link is down below and the QR code is here. We actually think people have been buying this really nice glossy hardcover. So if you've ever listened to Toby Ward in the YouTube member podcast, she introduces herself as being from 2050 and then tells you what's going to happen in the future, which is why that is the cheapest piece of research in the book, because I come with the questions as an analyst and she comes with the answers. And we do Hershey's Kiss emoji showdown. So if you have a Hershey's Kiss coin, we will tell you about it in the most unique way in the history of market analysis. Sorry, did I just shill Toby? All right, let me just finish with Digital Dominion. All right, I'm just going to go crazy. I don't want to chase you all off. All right, what else do we have here that is a lot of fun? Because you know what? Let me finish on the CBDC point. USDC is a CBDC. It is. That's why it went public. That's why there's all this fanfare. If they want to know what you're doing, they will find you. They will find you. And I think, privacy matters, right? Antivirus, which, by the way, I don't mind saying was a winner today in our altcoin showdown, our very unique altcoin showdown. So we have this accumulation cone. Which way will it break? False breakdown out of the bottom, false breakdown out of the top. This tornado cash thing is an antivirus catalyst. We got John McAfee podcast. We got John McAfee clips. He was making clips before anybody was making clips for TikTok. Was talking about this law enforcement issue that everyone's all wound up about in 2018. Right? It's and you know what? Even if you're not into it, the value investing opportunity in this market is absolutely unbelievable. Look at this. Look at this. Institutions buying Bonk. We had Bonk in the Solana 7, which is in the Patreon store. I mean, look at this, up 10% today to the premium zone. Bonk. And you know what? If you come down here, dude, if you go to the weekly chart, this was so dead for so long. LuxAlgo, I mean, this was rubbing its discount zone for 3 months. It's like, oh, I like it. Oh, I don't. Look at this give up trade. If you focus in on these candles, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4 down weeks on a geopolitical end of the world that wasn't the end of the world. And then the next thing you know, the Solana casino is open. Little guy, as in pump.fun, innovated. Big guy wins. Don't mind telling you that both GAN models that I have spit out Pepe 2 days ago. The same model, I'm sorry, I misspoke. The same model that spit out Bonk for the Solana 7 just spit out Pepe and Doge. Now, what's Pepe? Leveraged ETH. What's Bonk? What's WIF? Leveraged Solana. It's like buying Solana, except with leverage. It's what they call it in legacy, a higher beta, meaning if ETH moves, Pepe is going to move. You know, this is going to happen. This is how you know retail's not involved. Retail's not involved. Like I can say that, but then you'll be like, okay, Bill, well, retail's not involved. Dogecoin up unchanged for today. Unchanged. With this giant head and shoulders bottom that we've talked about on multiple streams. More comedy. Let's actually go to the chart first to make sure I'm not, I'm not crazy. Okay. Oh, I love this. So somebody decided to make a special ETF where MicroStrategy bears could make a bet by essentially, owning this thing where you could get short MicroStrategy with leverage. And they would put that in an ETF. So you would buy this thing and then benefit if MicroStrategy went down. Sorry. See, MicroStrategy gaps up on the whole Bitcoin thing. And what happens is LuxAlgo puts support underneath it. That's the big yellow bar. Now, let me ask an important question because somebody asked to cover crypto equities, which I'm about to do in spades. Pengu is pulling a 2024 Pepe. And you know what, bro? It absolutely is. Pepe went to 8 billion. Nothing is going to stop that Pengu coin. It was up when everything else was down today. So that'll go until everyone is in. I suspect no one is in, honestly. Everyone is long Bitcoin, short MicroStrategy. What happens if Bitcoin finds a range between, say, 108 and 128, and MicroStrategy just rips to the upside? There's a ton of support underneath it. I get that there's a lot of equities instruments out there, right? And, maybe this was a little overbought yesterday, but like HUT mining is at equilibrium. This is HUT, right? This is an accumulation cone. And as I've been talking about ad nauseum in the TA section of the show, everyone's afraid of resistance. Like, remember, it was the 200-day moving average. Like, ooh, the 200-day moving average. Then it was 110 in Bitcoin. It was like, ooh. You get consolidations below these resistance points, and if it doesn't back off, it's going through. And when it does go through, you're going to ask, when's the next dip? You may get one. You got one today, but you may not. You're not going to get the trade location you get if you add a little, like on the small dips underneath the resistance. Yes, I know you're not supposed to buy resistance. That's not what the chart book says. And that's exactly why you should do it. Because every robot in the world is like, oh, watch out for resistance. And then when it goes, all of a sudden it's 5% above the resistance and you're waiting for a retest and you may not get one. Everybody wants a dip. You got one today. I didn't think you were getting one. You got one. Right? I mean, I knew Bitcoin was going to come off, but they smacked altcoins for like a good period of time today. Here's a funny thing about Coinbase. This whole trade, and I've said this entire trade has been done in basically two stocks, right? They did it in Circle and they did it in Coinbase. Now, there's nothing wrong with Circle. There's nothing wrong in Coinbase. I really don't see any major topping signals, at least on the daily chart for Coinbase, right? They got some chunky DeMark resistance at 429, but it's not like I'm going to get all wound up about it. I'm not. This is classic where it kind of goes up. It forms a 9 top. That could be it, but look, they're buying the dip. So when you have a rally like this and you see this 9 signal, you will get a counter trend move. But if it comes back, it's going to rip to the upside. It's going to rip to the upside. And the thing that's funny about equities is that the orange man gets bolder and bolder and bolder with tariffs. And CPI came out today and equities don't care. Like equities were down like 20% the last time he was mouthing off about tariffs. Inflation was higher than expected. Man, no one cares. And if that's true, and if you don't have a problem with stonks, I mean, I'm going to stay out of the stonk prediction game. All I'm saying is, you know, if you have a stable stock market, like here's Marathon Digital, right? And we talked last week about how Marathon how all these Bitcoin miners, CEOs were paying themselves in stock. Why? Because they know the company's going to get taken over. So you have this huge explosion through this highly unique neckline. Normally on a head and shoulders, the neckline is downward sloping. It's like that. This is very clearly an upward sloping neckline. That's a shoulder. That's a shoulder, right? Now, if this does not go back down below this line, this is 1758. People in equities, after getting just massively chopped up, instead of thinking that crypto is some stupid thing, that move that Bitcoin made, that just changed people's mind. And the legacy guys, I'm sure, were short. The Bitcoin ETF characters got their chins ripped off. $25 is a target for Marathon, currently trading at 18. And there really is not a crypto equity that doesn't look like this. Like there's Wolf, okay? First of all, Wolf is still below equilibrium. And again, you know, there are guys in our Patreon group that know the fundamentals of these groups. You know, because you do have to know the fundamentals of these equities because not all these equities are created equal. Okay. But if you look at, say, I don't know, a 3-day chart. I mean, are you seriously going to tell me that there isn't, the bigger the base, the higher in the space going on in these stocks? There is. And I can tell you right now, based on the price action, like mutual funds are underinvested. BTBT, this could be the guys, correct me, that like flipped and like sold a bunch of Bitcoin and went to like ETH treasury. Yeah, all the way up, back to LuxAlgo support. Everyone's like, when's the dip? The dip is now. The dip is now. And frankly, you know who should be next? Tesla. Haven't talked about this, right? Perfect distraction. The perfect way to effectively rug crypto week is for Tesla to come out and start buying Doge and Bitcoin. They already have $1 billion worth of it. It's easy for Elon to just say, you know what? I'm tired of all this. Tesla is at resistance. Tesla did break down out of one of these formations. Okay. But one thing you have to remember is that this is a giant triangle, right? And as you can see here, Tesla broke out of the bottom of the triangle. See how it broke out of the bottom of the triangle here? And, you know, it does its customary. These things all give you like 5 or 6 days where it trades terrible. Trades terrible. Breaks down. Looks like it's going to zero. And of course, if there's a problem with equities, there'll be a problem with Tesla. But I think after what happened with Bitcoin, this is like a Chinese fortune cookie. Like after what happened with Bitcoin, and you just, you know, you read your fortune. After what happened with Bitcoin, I can't believe anybody would actually fade this. I mean, look at Circle. Wow. Circle on the daily chart is like, oh, I'm going to go down to equilibrium and I'm going to sit there. I'm wildly overvalued. And guess what? I'm going to wave my hands in the air like I just don't care. On equilibrium. Bid only. Okay, I may not have welcomed who's here. We definitely want to check out Toby Ward for Buckle Up. Little banter bubbles at the end, straightening everybody out on picks, requests, AMA. Hey, folks, if you're not with me and Toby, where you at? Where you at? Okay, welcoming who's here. We got a robust crowd today. Pag Voop is here. What's going on? Hal Lopez. God, up in the middle of the night from Portugal. What's up, dude? GF, wrong again. What's happening? Brandon, King, AVAX, XRP, Polkadot, Cardano, Audio. Yes. All the above. I cannot get the GAN model off Polkadot. Like, hey man, are you sure about that? And then it'll give me another layer 0 later, but I just can't get it off Polkadot. Polkadot, Arweave, don't want to give too much away. Arweave up big today, I think. Kamania, what's up? Haven't seen you in a while on the member stream, right? Hot Mess Express, paging Bill Noble. I'm right here, not going anywhere. Not going to get me off this thing. The microphone will break. Don't worry. We'll get another one. Don't worry. Forget about it. Joe Robbins, I need to learn how to manage the membership. All right, sir. Well, let us know if you need help. There's a chat room. There's a chat in Patreon. And, we'll help you out as best we can. G. Stott, welcome. Crypto to the Moon, a member. Notorious Love from King. Felix, why does this market mess with us? I thought it was going up. Okay. So just as I will answer that question, if you're having a problem with your membership, you may have the $4.99 one, which I love because it gives you an emoji, priority on shout outs and comments. If you want to go to Toby, it's $49.99. You just add a digit, which is 1/4 of what other dudes are charging. And they're definitely not doing altcoin picks live. You find me somebody who's doing altcoin picks live and let me know. Indie Rock Crypto, Gion, banging away with a virtual clinic of how to use our custom emojis. Today's Tech Brights, WWJD. Small cap hit, stealth on Solana. Let me write it down. Okay, inflation figures too hot to cut rates. Okay, well, Jerome Powell's going to find out. You're right. He can't cut rates with the existing data. This assumes the existing data is correct, to be honest with you. Like the economic data wasn't correct under Bowden. Why would it be correct now? You had like 13 consecutive unemployment figures that were higher than expected with no job growth outside the public sector. So, yeah, the inflation numbers are out. Are they accurate? I don't know. Now, in fairness, Powell doesn't want to be the Fed chairman who cuts rates under pressure and then inflation reignites. That said, inflation has nothing to do with what Powell does. It has to do with what the government is spending. E4404 says TAO to the moon. Sir, if you were in the Spartans VIP middle tier, you would be pleased with some of the stuff we came out today. Daniel J. from the shore. Gravy wavy or wavy gravy. How long can you hold the balloon alts underwater? Dude, not much longer, man. You got a lot of Bitcoin profits sloshing around out there. All this news, oh, whales take profits. You know what? When you see people taking profits, oh, somebody took profits. Okay. You know what I'm saying? You took profits. Okay. You spent 15,000 on Bitcoin. You turned it into $1 billion. Okay. You've probably been borrowing against it. You pay off the loan. You ride off into the sunset. Okay. That's fine. Right. But that doesn't mean that this doesn't have massive upside potential. Because, Bitcoin went up $10,000. And now all of a sudden, I got people texting me like, hey, Bill, did you know Crypto Week was coming up in the U.S.? I'm like, yes. Do you need any help covering that on your YouTube channel? Like, no, I think I got it. I love these people that call me up. Like, hey, it's Crypto Week. Did you know? I'm like, bro, somebody knew. Because we still don't know who was the big buyer of all that Bitcoin. We don't know. We don't know who was the buyer of Bitcoin Cash. Still don't know. We don't know who the buyer of Bitcoin was. We can come up with a guess. But what if those two coins are telling you that this whole ecosystem is going to go? Yav, an early morning guy up late. Kamania demonstrating the Joe is also here. Bull Runner in the house. Brick Dreams. TAO to the moon. Dude, it is going to happen. We have a cool watch list of like, you know, you're like American made, large cap cryptos. Pick one, anyone, right? GAN model loves Pyth. All these decentralized physical infrastructure plays, all this cloud computing stuff. Does anybody think that machines are going to use, like, you know, when they start making machines that can think and trade, what are they going to go trade? They're going to go trade NVIDIA? I don't think so. They're going to come in here and go, oh, look, my fellow robots, my fellow computer programs, my fellow cloud storage friends. That's literally what they're going to say. And then boom, right? And naturally, you had to have the dip this morning. It's like, when's the dip? The dip is when you get the dip, it's right now. The dip is right now. Where's Arweave? By the way, if you're wondering what the GAN model is, the GAN model is in Patreon. I will show you. I know this was one of the top picks for days, weeks. It wouldn't shut up about Arweave. Dude, these decentralized computer plays, not only are they rallying, but LuxAlgo is like sticking support underneath it as it's rallying. And people were probably looking at things like, and I'm sharing, not sharing the screen. People were probably looking at stuff like Arweave and going, oh, I can't buy this. I can't buy it. Okay. Well, when can you buy it? Right? Here's the dip in Pyth today. Look at this thing. Right? Everyone's, you know, this is really a classic study in altcoins, because people are asking me, is it altcoin season? I think a lot of people want to believe that it's 2021 again and everything is just going to be levitated higher by this wave of liquidity. And I don't think it's going to be that way in the beginning. Right? The liquidity is going to come into the system when the Fed has to print massively later. Right now, it's a sector rally. So you have Pyth, right? Just as an example. Yav with the super chat. XRP. Oh my God, I can't believe I haven't even gotten to XRP yet. But here it is, right? Goes up, sell. Goes up, sell. Goes up, sell. Goes up, sell. Goes down, buy. Because everybody sold over here. If you have bag holders getting out of these coins and they don't go down, guess what? Guess what? They're literally all going up. Oh my God. Ethereum versus Bitcoin. Can you even tell today was a 6% rally? Appreciate the super chat, sir, genuinely. Can you even tell? I don't know, man. Do you need a chart book to know what that means? Right? They just took out like 3 prior highs. And then if you go over here and you pull up ETH versus Bitcoin, and you're probably wondering, it's like, okay, Bill, what does ETH versus Bitcoin actually mean? Well, it's like the value of altcoin. It's a way to measure the value of altcoins versus Bitcoin. You got a 13 and a 9 bottom. You got the 2 biggest bottoms signals that you could possibly have in the most tidiest way right next to each other, with ETH versus Bitcoin back where it was in 2019. That's how dramatically ETH has underperformed. You got any idea what happens in this market if ETH and Solana take off? Forget it. I mean, you know, people haven't seen these big altcoin moves, also called alt season. They've seen the meme stuff, but they haven't seen the, you know, these like tech-based, speculative, hey, stable coins. They haven't seen any of this stuff come into the market. And again, when Bitcoin caught everybody off guard, Solana down and then back. Right? Where's XRP? I absolutely can't believe that people sold XRP yesterday at $3. And this ladies and gentlemen, is the market update. So let's review. When you have these green 1, 2, 3 to 9, you see how the 9 is bigger? It highlights the 9. This is called the setup phase. Okay. Now, the way the setup phase works is you go up and then you get a counter trend move, which is today's dip. Then if the market restarts again, you get what's called countdown, which can be, I don't know, 13 up days if it goes up only. But, you can have at least 2 weeks up. And here's the kicker about XRP. See this 4? This was the dip week in XRP. So for all the fanfare about Bitcoin, for all, Garlinghouse on the tape, all in front of the Senate, Bank of America partnership, this was actually down when I looked at it this morning for the week. Fascinating, as Mr. Spock would say. And here's what's even funnier. This is also a dip week in Bitcoin. If I had said at 123, this is really the dip week in Bitcoin. And the Patreon, the free people got like a sample of our GAN day trading map. Like, I don't know, Bitcoin may not be done dipping. Which, for altcoin people is fantastic because that means capital's coming out. People are taking profits. And where are they going with those profits? NVIDIA? Seriously, really? I don't think so. I really don't. I mean, if this recent move didn't put the fear of God in legacy about crypto, I don't know what will. Okay, so SEI has been outperforming, so you may get some sort of resistance or topping signal here because it's been doing quite well. Then again, if you look at the weekly, it's the bigger the base, the higher into space. This was SUI before SUI. I believe this is also on World Liberty's books. So is Avalanche. Just kind of going live TA Palooza today on altcoin overtime. By the way, I definitely appreciate anybody who would hit the like button. We are trying to get to 200 likes on a stream. That is our goal. I know I'm kind of like clinical and boring about this because normally everybody is like, smash the like button. I don't really do that. But you do want to subscribe to the channel because live from the YouTube Shorts feed, meaning live from your phone, is coming. YouTube has made it non-optional. I will be live from the Shorts feed, and there is no way to text out a link on that in advance. I can tweet something out, but when I got to go live, I got to go live. Avalanche on World Liberty's books. What's the price target from Avalanche in the latest Patreon report? $38. Where is it now? $22. Like, somebody explain to me how you stop this market from going up. I don't know how you stop this market from going up, especially with all these Bitcoin profits sloshing around in the system. You can't, right? I mean, it's this old thing in legacy, right? Like legacy is always like, well, the market can't go down because where's all the money going to go? That's usually what they say when the market is going against them. Like, well, money can't come out of my thing because where's it going to go? Well, I don't know. Warren Buffett said the same thing. Warren Buffett is the next guy to be shocked that, crypto equities. Can you imagine if Warren Buffett comes in and buys crypto equities? He's like, well, I don't really like Bitcoin, but these crypto equities, if I do my valuation math, are undervalued. Really? Really? So here's how we're getting people ready. It's that simple. I've been saying this for a couple days. You have Platinum Research and you have the 6th Street Crypto VIP crowd. Now, this piece published this morning is Platinum because I gave you 2 days, 2 dates from the GAN model that are the optimal dates to add to altcoin positions. because I mean, that's what everyone needs to know, right? I mean, you don't need to know that TAO and ETH and SUI are the good ones. I mean, that doesn't mean it's going to be down on that day, but those are the optimal days to get altcoins if this is going to continue, right? So if you're waiting for a dip or you're just looking to add to your positions and you want it to go up after you add, am I sharing this? Yes. If you want it to go up after you add, boom, it's there. Along with a wide range of altcoin picks. The altcoin picks, I gave that to 6th Street Crypto. So the what went to our middle tier guys. The when went to Platinum. And for Crypto Week 1 week only, for Crypto Week 1 week only, and you must see this. You must see it. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it. We are all gonna make it because I did this for you guys, so it's worth stumbling around. If you happen to be allergic to the monthly membership, I marked all this stuff down to $39 per report. The Bitcoin long-term price prediction is only available in Platinum. But DPIN, XRP, long-term price prediction, the Solana 7, which never gets old, altcoin season, 10 GANed alt times, again, timed alts. Naturally, for $88, you get all of this, but if you're allergic, it's in the Patreon shop. So that's the sale back to TA. You got Toby for $49, and if you bought Toby and the most expensive Patreon thing we buy, that's still $80 below other private groups. And we got to have it in more than one place in case I get shut off for saying something naughty. So there's the YouTube member area. Don't forget, there's a button at the bottom of the chat. You know, where you at? If you're not with us, where you at? Come see us. Okay, SUI. All right, so SUI is nothing outperforms forever. Clearly, somebody knows something in SUI. Somebody knew something in Bitcoin Cash. Somebody knew something in Bitcoin, and somebody knows something here. Right? Either the project is ramping this thing. Share screen. Either the project is ramping this thing. Somebody is. Somebody knows what's going on. The premium zone is not until 550. Okay, pretty sure I'm looking at the GAN target here. I think the GAN target, frankly, is too conservative. It's not conservative, but it thinks it can be there by September, and it looks like it freaking wants to go there now. Pancakes and peanut butter, welcome to the show. Okay, somebody was asking me about HIT. Just remembered. By the way, we're doing a ton of live TA today. If that works for you, please let us know. Okay, so something has a problem and it's still inside the discount zone. I think when I look at this, I think about something that, you know, I don't mind talking about it because Toby's really into it. And over the years, like, Toby was really into 100K Bitcoin way before anybody was into 100K Bitcoin, way before. We had videos on our Unhinged Crypto YouTube channel where it was like 120K with like a kind of a picture of Toby, and everyone was like, ah, who's laughing now, bro? Who's laughing now? This is Ohm on a 4-hour chart. All this real world asset stuff. No one believes this. No one believes this. No one believes in this whole sector. Now, I can understand if somebody's not interested in this coin because of what happened. But sometimes, you know what? Sometimes after hacks or some stuff like that, people come back stronger. Projects can come back stronger. I mean, at a minimum, Omni, at a minimum, and you know what? One thing I should be telling you is that you know what the game is these days? You want to find resistance that the market doesn't necessarily want to go through. And then when it dips, obviously, You're really looking for support. And sometimes support can be at higher levels than you think because the support is inserted by LuxAlgo. Here, Omni goes way up. It penetrates the 62% retracement at $3. And guess what's going to happen if they can take out $3? And again, this may happen in waves. And you know what, folks? That is extremely healthy. I know that you want to sit back and be like, I bought 10 coins and they're all up 25%. It's such a good time. That's not how this is going to work. It's not. That is not it. Mojo, Bulldozer, like that. Clearpool, Just Dario. Nobody wanted Clearpool, and now it's clearly some kind of rounding bottom. This is like basic decentralized lending. Like, you know, Syrup, which used to be Maple, mooned. And then all the other coins related to that got left in the dust. Why has this been left in the dust? I have no idea. Seriously, none. I mean, if you go to memes, right? If you go to memes, the speculative force in this market is back. And it's not a joke. It's not a joke, right? Ski Mask Dog. Smoking. You had the dip today. They bought the dip. Look at this volume. And what's really happened here? Nothing. You know, big YouTuber guy gets into it, goes up. Everyone, this ground everyone into sand. You know, you can't just look at that. When you see these charts, you can't just look at the green candle that's happening. What you have to do is you have to think about what the bigger the base, the higher into space means. So the longer it sits there, that's what the bigger the base means, right? The bigger the base, the longer it sits down there, what actually happens? People get frustrated. People get out. People just, you know, tax loss selling. And they just pack it in. They're like, I'm done. I mean, I know for a fact that 2 weeks ago, week and a half, 2 weeks ago, it was just like, this market felt like it was never going up in our lifetime again. There was the geopolitical event. The geopolitical event ended, and it never came back up. It never came back up. Like we were looking at Moonpig. I don't know. This was supposed to be all that and then some, and it hasn't moved. I don't know. Maybe because it hasn't moved. But what happens if they get this whole casino thing going again? I'm just saying. I'm just trying to point out, like they were after the big cap memes today. I'm like, how long is it going to take before they get after the small cap memes? Right? Pengu. I mean, again, this is a good thing. Do you realize how many coins look like this? And as I always say, what leads on the way out? The speculative stuff, the stuff's no one's long, or the stuff people hate. Cardano was up today. No one likes it. Obviously, no one likes Stellar. Oh my God, let's go through the ultimate example of the coin that no one likes. No one liked these ISO 20022 coins, also known in the market as Dino coins. And bada bing, bada boom, you get a diamond, you break out of the diamond, and oh, look, it went to the diamond target. Can you believe it? That's unreal. I mean, it went past the diamond target. It went to this like top of this like alligator mouth thing. Now, and I would see this. as a leading indicator of XRP. As a leading indicator of XRP. Like, how can these American-made cryptos this week not go up? And you want to know what the biggest catalyst is? Thomas Massey just told you. Like, in other words, everyone's like, oh, the government's going to move my bags. That was January. And then it's, oh, the government's going to pass a law. I actually think tax incentives would be better. But look, they tried to sneak the CBDC in. So they can pass this or they cannot pass it. Are they acting in your interest? Who's going to act in your interest? I'm going to tell you who's going to act in your interest. You are. Because it took the mightiest hacker hedge funds, the mightiest hackers out there to stop the giant hedge fund. And if you want to know what 2050 is like, maybe you should check this out, right? Here's an excerpt from book 2. They call it Iris now. A ledger without locks, a memory without masters, but names grow moss and even holy systems not beneath belief. Whatever it was I liked when it opened, it's not that anymore. You want to know about blockchain and AI and you don't know anything, try some fun. I think we got the link right down below. I know this QR code is right. And if not, send us a message in Patreon or in the YouTube member area, or leave it down in the comments of the show. Okay. Now, I want to thank everybody for listening today. I appreciate your business. If you don't get some research and you don't get some coins and you don't get involved in this, your kids are going to look at you and you're going to say, hey, Dad, hey, Mom, what were you doing during crypto week? When Bitcoin was, at 100 and something thousand and ETH was at 3,000, giggle, giggle, giggle. Get some research. If you can't get any research, hit the subscribe button, because this show is going to, I have to do more monologues from the YouTube Shorts feed. So normally I'm not annoying about the subscription button, but guess what? I'm now annoying. Thank you for all those who tuned in. If you have coins that you like, feel free to drop them in the comments below. We will see you in Patreon.